What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Kid Taj, and the dysfunction of the NBA season is finally upon us. For a while there at the beginning, there was so much optimism at the beginning of NBA seasons. Teams are all thinking we got a shot, we have a chance, everyone's 0-0, to start the season. So there's no reason for people to be upset at each other, really, usually. Sometimes there's exceptions, sometimes people just get mad because they get mad, and we can't do anything about it. Now, though, we have teams that have surprised us, that have been great and just exceeded expectations. We've also had teams that haven't even come close to hitting expectations, and those teams are probably looking to make moves. There's, development of bad team chemistry in the locker rooms, and we have conflict, and I'm going to be talking about the Chicago Bulls. I actually did mention Rajon Rondo's tweet in my last video, but that video was about the Eastern and Western Conference reserves for the All-Star team being announced. Haven't seen it? Go check it out. Please don't forget to leave a like on this video, comment an idea down below for a video, subscribe if you're new. We're gonna get into this right now. So basically, to start this off, it was a few days ago. Chicago Bulls lost to the Atlanta Hawks at home by 5 points. I believe it was 119-114 was the final score. Their offense was looking great, defense not so much. Jimmy Butler and Dwyane Wade combined for 73 points. They were considerably more efficient and effective than the rest of the team. The rest of the team shot something like in the 30% range, 33%, and Wade and Butler shot around 55-60%. So they were scoring, not only were they scoring all their points, basically half their points, no, it was more like 2/3 of their points. Not only were they doing that, but they were also making a high percentage of their shots, and they went off. And after the game, when they lost, when they gave up that huge run at the end of the game, they criticized their teammates. Maybe it was rightfully so, maybe not. But you can't say stuff like that to the media. They got in trouble for that. And Rajon Rondo made his Instagram post about how, you can't be talking to the media. You gotta stay upbeat. You can't get down on your teammates halfway through the season, and just completely lose all your chemistry. And I don't know. Does this mean they're gonna play better? Probably not. Maybe. You never know with this team. The Bulls are very unpredictable that way. But this is never good, really. I don't think there's gonna be any signs of improvement from this. It doesn't make any sense to me why this would happen. I think it should be common knowledge that you just don't go to the media to talk about your conflicts. And of course, the reason why I'm making this video, it resulted in the benching of Bulls stars Jimmy Butler and Dwyane Wade. They will come off the bench, I believe, in tonight's game against the Heat. When you're seeing this video, it's probably going to be in the middle of the game or after the game, whatever, because, I'm making it, I think the game is going to start soon as I'm recording this video, so, yeah, that's that. But basically, I don't know if they're even going to play. I mean, obviously, you gotta think that Jimmy Butler and Dwyane Wade are going to get in the game. I mean, this is a 500 team. These guys need to win games as much as they can, and every game matters so much to this team. You're not gonna get away with benching Butler and Wade and not playing them. That's not gonna go over very well. You could have suspended them for a game, but that would have been totally different. Benching them now, they're coming off the bench. I think they just would have suspended them if they weren't gonna play. Here's my deal. I think they will play, but there's a reason to think they won't play because Fred Hoiberg also quote unquote benched Rajon Rondo and Michael Carter-Williams at times, and when they got benched, they didn't even play. I mean, when Rondo got moved out of the starters, he didn't even get in the game for the next 4 or 5 games. Michael Carter-Williams, he was taken out of the starting rotation, and he still hasn't gotten back in the game since. He hasn't played the last few games because he's not starting, and it doesn't make any sense to me. Now they're removing Wade and Butler, but those guys, I mean, you gotta play those guys, especially Jimmy Butler. This guy is your heart and soul. This guy is the team, basically. He does it all for them every night. He's the reason that they're a 500 team. Without him, they'd be in the lottery down low, 14 or 15 in the Eastern Conference. I guarantee you, they'd be terrible. He's done wonders for the squad. Anyway, they're minus 10 per 100 possessions without him. Anyway, as a Bulls fan, I know all about this stuff. This is my area of expertise, and you guys might have different opinions than me on some of this stuff. Doesn't mean anyone's wrong, but this is how I see it. You can bench him. I'm not actually that upset with the benching of these guys. In fact, I don't know if you guys remember, but I mean, you probably do. This was only a few weeks ago. Jabari Parker of the Milwaukee Bucks, he was benched for the whole first quarter. He didn't start the game, came off the bench, checked in. I believe it was at the end of the first quarter or something like that, or beginning of second quarter. in the game, even though he's a starter, he's a star basically, and so you expect him to start games. He came off the bench because he had revealed something to the media about a players-only meeting that wasn't supposed to be disclosed to the media. Maybe it was a team meeting, players-only meeting, something like that. But you're not supposed to do stuff like that. The team decided that his punishment would be that he would come off the bench. This one, it was just Fred Hoiberg. He just doesn't want these guys to start this game. He says the discipline is the punishment, whatever. Rajon Rondo gets off scot-free, which, I think if you're gonna punish Butler and Wade, you gotta punish Rondo too. They all basically did the same thing, even though Rondo was sticking up for those young guys that Wade and Butler were targeting when they were criticizing the team. Rondo was still taking to social media to try to criticize Butler and Wade. They basically did the same thing. They went to the media and they criticized teammates. I mean, that's really what happened, and I think that there should be fair punishment. If there's any punishment, it should be fair punishment. And this whole situation is so bad, because how do you recover from something like this? I mean, are guys just gonna get along? I mean, I'm hearing that they don't care. Butler and Wade, they're not holding anything against Rajon Rondo for that Instagram post. They felt that he was free to express his feelings, express his mind, speak his mind, I guess was what they were saying. And so basically, they're saying, well, we're gonna get past it. We've talked about it. It's behind us, whatever. But they're still coming off the bench for this game, and that's going to be very interesting to see. Of course, I'm going to tune in. Huge lifelong Bulls fan. Always be a Bulls fan. That's basically what that is. We've heard about the Bulls. They've been one of the more talked about teams just because, being at the beginning of this season, this team, they were looking to be around mediocre because you have no shooters really. You fill your backcourt out with Rondo and Wade, which doesn't end up working. You got to move Rondo to the bench because Rondo can't play with two other guys, Wade and Butler, that both handle the ball and aren't the best three-point shooters. They're not spot-up three-point shooters really, not guys you're just going to pass to and they're going to fire and hit a three. Those are the guys on the bench, so Rondo plays with the bench makes a lot more sense. They don't have a starting point guard. They're really trying to find their options. In my opinion, you got to just have Wade and Butler be your backcourt and fill out your front court with the starters. Get another role player to start at small forward, move Butler to shooting guard, Wade to point guard, or maybe Butler point guard because he's really good at making plays for people, Wade to shooting guard, whatever works. I think that works better because that's actually worked better for them over the last few games. But yeah, they don't have a point guard right now. This team also, when you have Rondo, Wade, and Butler on a squad, three guys, we talked about three alphas like a ton, and how this could work or it couldn't work, and it's not really working. In my opinion, I think that the two GMs, Gar Forman and John Paxson, and the coach Fred Hoiberg all have to go, and it doesn't make any sense what they're doing. First of all, you don't sign Fred Hoiberg, a completely inexperienced coach, to a 5-year deal. That's ridiculous. Now they have to pay him for the next 5 years. That's the only reason why they haven't fired him by now. If they signed him to a 1 or 2 year deal, they could have just moved on and gotten an actual coach that does something to help this team win. And you got a coach that was designed for offenses that spread the floor and shoot threes, and you literally have the opposite of that. The worst three-point shooting team in the league. They shoot the least and they make the least, and they have the worst percentage by far. Why would you ever hire a coach like this to coach these guys, and a coach like this that's so mellow and soft-spoken that's not gonna try to have authority over Wade, Butler, and Rondo because, they're the guys that are really leading this team, and Fred Hoiberg's just a puppet or whatever, and he's just there for Gar Forman and John Paxson that are making terrible decisions, and this team doesn't work. It's just a mess. It's one of the most dysfunctional basketball franchises in the league, in the world. It's bad. It's one of the worst run franchises in sports, I can tell you. Also, if you didn't know, Tom Thibodeau never missed the playoffs, I don't believe, when he was coaching the Bulls. Like, Derrick Rose hasn't missed the playoffs in his career until last year, and neither did Jimmy Butler. And guess what? Last year was Fred Hoiberg's first year. They lost. They didn't make the playoffs. They lost 40 games, and this year they're on the edge, and they might not make it again, and they didn't even get close to missing the playoffs when Tibbs was their coach. They were at least the 5th seed every single year. They get to the second round basically every single year, and it's terrible. Even when Derrick Rose was out, they were still up there in the 4th seed or whatever, and now, come on, this is absolutely ridiculous. Get this guy out of here. Get these GMs out of here. It's just a bad look. You're not getting anything done. You're a 500 team. If you get rid of Butler, then you're tanking and you're rebuilding, I guess. That's your full rebuild. If you want to rebuild, you have to get rid of Jimmy Butler. And this is because you can't get lottery picks without being a trash team, and they're not going to be a trash team with Jimmy Butler. If your team has Jimmy Butler on it, you're guaranteed to be, you're guaranteed to win about at least 35 games in a season, 35, 40 games a season, because Butler's the only reason this team is there. If he wasn't on this team, they would be in the lottery, and they would be fine. They'd be rebuilding and whatever, but, they're not going to rebuild. They got to actually build a squad around him, and they're doing a terrible job doing that. I don't get it. Anyway, yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Just a reminder, if you have a star like Jimmy Butler, you're trying to build a successful team, you don't put guys that can't shoot or defend around him. You put shooters and defenders around a guy that's a superstar that can make plays, that can set guys up and score at will. I'm very disappointed. I went on this rant at the end because I'm a Bulls fan and I'm so upset at the state of this front office in this franchise and this team right now. It's terrible. The benching is just showing you, what it means. And yeah, I'm out. Thanks for watching, you guys. Peace.